Hey guys, I want to give you something really important that'll help fix your neck pain, your upper back pain, also help with symptoms like headaches, dizziness, shortness of breath, or even how we hold stress. Um, so the idea here is uh, your environment, the environment that you're in, the physical environment that you're in, is a really important part of your symptoms. This is part of your story, right? That's how I refer it's part of how I refer to a person's story when they come into me with symptoms. We want to look at the holistic picture. One part of the story is the physical environment that they are day in and day out. Usually that's one of the most important ones to look at. So it could be that you're working at a desk, looking at a computer. It could be that you're driving. Let's just take those two scenarios and broaden the picture to kind of understand it in a bigger context, right? So our environments are really impactful, and usually they're not impactful in a positive way. People who engineer our chairs, our immediate physical environments, they usually don't have an idea of biomechanics. They really aren't thinking about, they don't have our health in mind. They probably have more like looks, comfort, style, what's cool in the culture now. And those are the things that that are on their mind, because those are the things that they're going to sell their products. And so we get into these cars, and this is just one thing, but it's an important one, and I think almost everybody can benefit from it. Even if you don't have issues in your head and neck, upper back, it'll just give you more. It will help you prevent issues, but it'll also give you more openness. Openness in the cervical spine. It will reduce, kind of a straight cervical spine, and give us more of the ability to develop that curvature, that secondary curvature. So right here, you can see that, my headrest is jutting my head forward. And so I'm just exaggerating so that you can see. But so a lot of us will sit in our cars and we'll sit this way, and it's our environment that starts to develop that straight neck and that limitation in our movement. Over time, that's massive, right? And I just want to give you an example of what I mean by over time. So say, for instance, you put me on a scale, right? On a scale, we look at how much I weigh. I weigh 150 pounds. Okay, cool. So we say I weigh 150 pounds, and that's what's kind of in our minds. Oh, Chris weighs 150 pounds. But we don't look at the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture would be, well, how many pounds is he carrying in a day? If you multiply 150 times how many seconds there are in a day, you're pushing to like 250,000 pounds. So I'm carrying around 250,000 pounds every day just by weighing 150 pounds. You see, so small things add up. That's what I'm trying to say. Small things add up. And that's what you'll hear me say. I'll be telling a lot of different stories and giving a lot of different examples, but often just things that are, subtly different, small differences, because I want to give you as many explanations as I can, basically in the same way, because we want those aha moments to hit. We want you to really understand things, all right? So I've got to use a lot of stories. I've got to tell a lot of, use a lot of examples. So here we are. If my head's jutting forward when I'm driving, then I go to work and I'm on my computer. or I'm at home and I'm looking at my phone, or I'm at the store looking at my phone, or I'm driving and my head's forward. That's a lot of head forwardness. That's not good for this area of our neck, where you have, our air passage, our esophagus for food, our blood vessels and veins, vagus nerve, many different nerves, spine, spinal cord. So you have, blood, lymphatic fluid, all sorts of fluids that need to move through here, and they're getting cut off. So we're cutting off, literally, our head from our bodies. We're cutting off our breathing. So you see, just by being in this car, forward head posture, that's creating a lot of problems for me. But the problems are so small. They're so minute, so microscopic that we don't perceive them on a daily, right? And so but over the course of time, especially if you put some of your hobbies into it, some of you might do jujitsu, some of you might wrestle, some of you might, whatever your hobbies are, if those things are bringing your head forward too, that's another level, because now you're putting muscular tension on, a whole another level of athletics and effort. So, well, what are we going to do to remedy this situation? First, we should know that having a straight cervical spine is not ideal. That's not ideal. Then we should know that, like, a lot of our therapies aren't even going to be able to deal with that, right? We won't go into that right now. We'll make a separate video on therapies, and even my own therapy of structural integration. I want to debunk a lot of that stuff. And I want to give you information that's going to help you. I want to give you information that will continue to help you improve your body and your biomechanics. So what are we going to do with this issue? Head forward, this environment. Super simple. Okay, super simple. But also remember to implement it. Okay, when you go home, see if your headrest can come out. Right? Can come out of its, and just turn it around. Right? Turn it around and reinsert it. Now, instead of it coming forward and limiting my neck and keeping it straight, I can bring my head back. I can lounge. I can rotate. I'm not stuck. I'm not stuck by my environment. So we need to take control over our environments, because right now our environments are controlling us, and it's not a good situation. Okay, so let's do one more thing. Because I don't want this to be informational. I want this to be experiential. The more experience you have of this, the more deeply you'll understand it. And that's how to truly check in, right? Through experience. So let's go back into, what the engineers built in for this car. And what we want to do here is we want to have, we want to kind of go to an extreme, because we're putting this in our bodies. Remember, this sort of chronic over time, habit that we build in, that happens over time. It's almost imperceptible that it's happening. So what we want to do is we want to exaggerate, kind of like the end of, the end point where we're starting to feel symptoms. So how can we exaggerate that? Let's just really bring our heads forward, really get into like that hunched sort of shape, that C, like our whole spine is in a C shape. And let's just take a few breaths from there. Let's take a few breaths in this posture. Make some mental notes of how that feels in your body. Just imagine this is what normal feels like to a lot of us, or this is the end point of where we're going with all this environmental conditioning. Okay, so remember, that's what that feels like. Let's go ahead and switch this up now. And let's go to the other extreme of head back, and let's compare. Let's take some breaths. Wow. That is completely different. It's a completely different experience in my body, in my breath, in my head, my neck, the way I process information, how it makes me feel. Now go home and do that. I want you to put your experiences in the comments. And there's going to be a lot of different experience. You know, each person's going to have a different experience, but I want you to share that with each other, because that is going to help someone else, right? You'll be helping each other. And then, you know, with my clinical experience, if you say something that's like, oh, it just doesn't seem right, I'll comment on that, and then we'll work with it. We'll work with it, okay? So if you've tried that and you like what you found, hit the like button so that this video gets some likes and views. Hit the share button so that you can, and share it with people you know or like. Share it on your social. And yeah, we'll just keep on doing videos like this. Come back for more. And have a wonderful day. It's Friday, and hopefully this beautiful day, hopefully it's a beautiful day for you wherever you are in the world, and that this opens up the doors to a wonderful weekend. I hope the best for everybody, and we'll see you again soon.